Welcome to part 3 as I read from the book All the Women of the Bible. And the story I'm reading from today is The Ephraimite, Levite's Concubine, and the Price of Honor. In part 2, the ending of part 2, well, you'll just have to go back and listen, right? Part 3. He put out his hand to his concubine and pulled her close to him with a smile. She caught her breath and felt the surge of triumph. Her honor had won, and there hadn't been a price. Grandmother had been wrong. She was his wife, and she would confront this crowd as his. So much for her rival. She smiled brilliantly at him and moved with him, slipping out the door as the host has done. Seeing him, the crowd grew silent, and the girl, still tucked in beside him, wondered what he had in mind, but was not worried. She was his, and that was enough. He would deal with these people, and they would go home together. And she would see to it that her life went the way she wanted it to, whoever had to pay the price. He might have to offer them himself, of course, but she would be safe. And anyway, they'd never accept. That would be dishonorable. When he began to speak, the girl was transfixed with horror. It was not himself he was offering to the mob to save their host, but her. She heard again his voice saying, "What is closest to my heart," and understood at last that he had meant her, that she had held him honor-bound, heart to heart, as she had thought she desired to do, and that the price of this honor, real honor, was finally going to cost her everything she had and everything she was. The crowd took the Levite's offer and snatched her from his grasp. After that, it was all a wash of breathless terror and ceaseless, ever-changing pain. Finally, it all stopped. The rising sun had begun to paint the sky red gold. The dew had soaked through the girl's dress, now bloody rags, when she staggered to her feet. Stumbling to her knees from time to time, she made her way back to the door of their host. No one was awake, nor had the house been damaged, she saw, so the Levite's device had worked. He had kept their honor as guests, paying the price of his dearest love, herself, though not in the same coin in which she had paid it. She fell at the door, collapsing, her hands extending over the threshold, the guest and his wife keeping honor to the end. "Grandmother was right," she murmured. "Real honor may cost you your life, but it does keep you in one piece with your soul alive. How I would wish I never traded it for the other kind. The price to get it back was so high. But if I hadn't, that price would really have been too high. Oh, beloved," she sighed. Then she was still. At full day, the Levite came to the door, opened it, and saw her lying there. "Get up now," he said, though gently. "It's time for us to be on our way." She answered him not a word. He looked down at her compassionately, sorry for what she had suffered, but glad he and she had been able to save their host and his daughter. "Come on," he said, again, and reached down to touch her. His hand on her cold, tenantless flesh told him the truth. Suddenly his face changed. From flesh to carven rock, it seemed. She was dead, and they would pay, these sons of Benjamin, the honor price for him and for her. Blood for blood, he thought, life for life. And I will have it, to the very last man of that benighted tribe. Our honor demands no less a price. He picked up her body, gently set it on the mule, and set it for Ephraim and home. That's the end of today's story. I hope you'll join me later for your nightly dose of comfort from restaurant reviews, and join me tomorrow as I read from the story Esther and the Balance of Power. And as ever, and as always, I hope you never ever forget that somebody smiled today because of you. Because you are enough.